Hey there, Shrine Runners! Hello, and welcome to the Fox Shrine. I'm Araxis, your host, and tonight we're going to be playing some more Limbus Company. Hey there, Kuro, hey Oguna, hey Ada, hey Senpai, welcome! And I thank you very much, Ada, for 64 months of subscribing. I really do appreciate it. I'm back from holidays, and still jet-lagged, unfortunately, and a little bit sick. So hopefully, I'm going to be trying to take things a little bit easy with this stream, but there is a lot of reading. I can tell you that much. So we'll just do what we can, okay? We might go a little bit short, might go normal length. We'll just do what we can. All right. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? And the trip was good. The trip was long. I should also say, like, damn, that's a long plane flight. I was definitely ready to come home by the end as well, but definitely worth it. I really enjoyed my trip a lot. Stayed in Hungary for a week. Went down to Danube, visited a lot of sites, a lot of castles, which were great. Yeah, was a lot of fun. So, yeah, Limbus. Let's go, shall we? So, we have our Arknights event over here. I have already started on it. I was playing some of it while on holiday because I wasn't sure like how far I would get and whether I'd be able to like stream it when I got home or whatever. I didn't finish it. It turns out it's actually quite tricky playing while on holidays, just because you're doing so much that you just don't really have time for your multiple gacha games or anything like that. I mean, if you don't have me add it, like I've literally got the friend code up over there, so go ahead and do that. Oh, that's something I didn't do, did I? Let me knew I forgot something. But yeah, thank you very much, Ada. So, obviously, we are going to be starting with the start, and we'll just go through it, okay? So, let's go. And I do actually have every single ego. Little trick for people who haven't actually rolled yet. Dispense as many egos as you can to cut down your pool. That way, the only egos that you can draw are the Arknights egos, and I was able to get them in 90 pools essentially. I got lucky, as well as making my own luck. So yeah. All right. So yeah, well, let's go in with you lot.
어머, 부탁드려요.
I should. That's right. We need to actually do the story thing. I'll. We're in the battle now. Let's go through the battle, okay? So, the things here that we're fighting are deep sea sliders. So they've got an interesting ability over here called Nervous Impairment. If they get to stack that enough, they get to stagger you and deal a quarter of your health. Thankfully, they don't do too much of it. But as you can see, that can potentially add up over time for long fights.
나아가주게.
Yeah, got Amia, which I also have, by the way. I made sure to get the Amia advisor.
敵は深手を負っています。
타겟 포착 1시간.
So, fairly simple battle here, but interesting enemy type.
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
You can sort of see slowly sort of stacks over time.
타겟 포착 1시간. 이 정도면 아마 겁나는데?
囚人の皆さんの状態を確認する必要がありそうです。管理人。
움직이면 안 돼. 다음 목표로 이 정도면 아마 겁나는데?
Mission accomplished.
It also does the Arknights victory thing over there, which is neat.
거봐, 내가 뭘 했어? 돌아와서 모조리 불태울 거라고.
Congratulations on She Faust. I'm not gonna roll. I don't see a reason to roll. Just a dispense. Alright, so we'll go and do the story stuff, okay? Because otherwise this stream will be pretty pointless. I was exploring a lobotomy corporation branch when my consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river, swept up in its currents to nowhere. And we ran into an abnormality. There's so many upgrades for Grip Faust at this point. But Sao told us that Hongwan's Lobotomy Corp branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality, which had appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than any we'd encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It's fathomlessly blue, and seemed to have a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. Did we get blue starred? I feel like we got blue starred. Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, a myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts crash into my mind like wild waves before ebbing away from its shores. Excuse me. I was already lost and adrift somewhere within my own consciousness when I realized this. Just how long am I going to be adrift? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while. An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimlessly drifting consciousness. Are you Dante? The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves, and a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am. What a relief. Gregor! I think Dante has come too. So, I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but... I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of a dream, rendering me unable to speak. I get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time had passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. Then we got ourselves a CG of Emiya, the heroine of Arknights, who I think is basically Australian. I think like the rabbit people are Australian in Arknights, if I'm not mistaken. Which I could be mistaken, I don't play Arknights. There was that stranger from earlier, sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the sights. A young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important right now. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I ended up in. So, we're standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling? Oh, yeah. But I think Amiya in particular, like the company that she was working with is like Australian or something. A little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Iberia, huh? Yes, we're in Iberia. Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to U-Corp's Great Lake? No, I'm not talking Rhode Island, I'm talking like where she was before or something. Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. I see. She's so small! She's tiny! Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners then? The fog of my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. Sinners? I think so. I ran into them earlier. They were looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for. So, this clock head does come in handy. Oh, manager bud. Dante! I'd woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face. In the midst of this an all-round sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Gregor! Honglu! Miss Rabbit here told me that she found you unconscious by the ocean, and I came as fast as I could, and oh boy. Was worried that something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine. Were you lost at sea? I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine, though. I guess not having any way to drink water's finally come in handy. You should go get that checked out just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing, then mutters a casual quip as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger. So, what happened? Where are we? Do you remember entering that Lobotomy Corp branch as Yichun told us about? Yeah. yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got sucked into it before we even had the chance to do anything. Oh man, I really thought that was it for us. Especially with you getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were, well, fine without a scratch. There was quite the mess when we realized that you'd gone missing. Yeah. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not at U Corp's Great Lake? Some of us considered that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain that we were not in District 21. Hey, Hunter Wolf! I'm doing alright, back from my holiday. Admittedly, still a bit jet-lagged and a little bit sick as well. But happy to be able to be back home and happy to be able to stream again. Hope you're doing alright. She did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but that doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-eared lady there said. Thanks, Skylar, for backing me up there. I was fairly sure that that I read about that correctly. Like, I don't consider myself a patriotic person or anything like that, but I do like to keep an eye out for Australian references wherever they pop up. And that was one that I paid attention to. Outskirts region of the Great Lake. There are all kinds of people from all over Terra. Never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way. Terra? Iberia? As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, very obvious question suddenly struck me. Yeah, I was basically just happened to be, like, wiki-walking at the time, Senpai. And hell, I could have been mistaken, but I'm fairly sure that I saw something about rabbits and Australia. Funny scene where Black Knight is introduced to the story with Cruz. The scene turns the Australian dial up to 12 to localize the Rim Billetonian accent. Yeah, I think like Rim Billiton was like the company or something like that. Ooh, that's rough, Hunter. I twisted my ankle while on holiday. Thankfully, it wasn't anything serious. Surprised I've never broken it, to be honest, with the way my ankle is, to be honest. Like, I step badly on that ankle all the time. It must be, like, messed up. Oh, the old Todger wants to have a go. Let's give him a go. Oh, we've been around the paddock a few times. We're no strangers. Yeah, just, what you should do, Skylar, if you ever go to Australia, go to a random pub or something like that, and see if you can just like overhear some people talking about it. Just people talking, rather. That's probably a good spot to go to hear strong Australian accents. Yeah, my ankle feels better now. Like, as I said, it was just a mild twisting of it. I've definitely twisted it worse before. As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? And why are you able to understand me? Huh? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet? It's just that... all just a lot to take in. That's the problem for me, Senpai, unfortunately. I don't mind tower defense, but I'm not really into it. I did try playing the Code Geass mobile game, which is also a tower defense style game, and like I just gradually got annoyed of constant tower defense, tower defense, tower defense, tower defense. So yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do Arknights, sadly. It's understandable. You did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is... actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? Enfield kind of needs to come out if I want to actually play the game, and also come out at a time where I've dropped a game of some sort, because I definitely don't have time for another gacha game. I'm Amir, the leader of Rhodes Island. Please, just call me Amir. I'm Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. It seems that this Rhode Island is a pretty big pharmaceutical corporation. But... Gregor trails off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is at all. As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the one Mr. Gregor explained. At least not with a name like the Head. X Astris is a single-player game they have on mobile. Okay. Never heard of X Astris. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo. Sorry. Gregor's kind of bad with names. So, what you are saying is that we're not in the city anymore? It'd be weird for any higher up at these huge corporations to know less about the Head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. Well, maybe we've tumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts or the ruins. Probably. And to meet a Billetonian out here still got me gobsmacked. Hooroo! See you around like a boomerang. Definitely don't see a lot of people say hooroo or see you around like a boomerang. Admittedly, there are some more rural parts of the country where you do get people who still use those colorful sayings. Like if you've ever watched some of Steve Irwin's stuff, for example, some people might say that he's putting on a character. No, there's genuinely people who are like that in Australia. So, yeah. Rest in peace, mate. Or maybe we've really found ourselves in a completely different world. I hear isekai is really popular with the kids these days. If their conjecture is correct, they're in way bigger trouble than I thought. Must be in the TJM verse, despite me not only having unusual mutations, but also very insistent. Senpai, I don't think there's anything strange about Emiya, even in the city. If you recall back in Library of Ruiner, when the Kurokumo clan ran into Tanya, like they just thought, oh, someone's just modded themselves to look like a dog woman. Like this is just something the kids do these days. So, rabbit ears are not abnormal, and hell, the boluses of H Corp or whatever, and the Heisho, they have rabbit ears. Nothing strange there. And again, like, we don't know a lot about the outskirts or the ruins. When we went to Santa's workshop, the villagers there, for instance, thought that the city was a great place, where like anything was possible and all that. For all we know, we ended up like further away out in the ruins, where a whole new civilization is built up. And like it's just too distant to be able to comprehend. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Emiya stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes. Recently, anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. And it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, something that we've never observed before. So, seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. Already got it, Senpai! I really would have appreciated Faust's input. Where'd all the other sinners go, anyway? A bit late on the uptake to be walking around with the other sinners now, don't you think? They're at a settlement near here, where they're all helping out with various odds and ends of the village, while taking turns searching for Dante, of course. Hey there, Bear! Welcome! How is Digimon Storytime Stranger? That is something I'm very much interested in. Also, welcome, Raiders. Thank you very much for the raid, Bear. For those who don't know me, I am Araxa Sedacia, your revolutionary bartender, and we're doing the Arknights event for Limbus Company at the moment. So, obviously some people might not want to stick around for spoilers, but we only got started. So, yeah. Really glad to hear that the game is highly recommended by you. I really need to find some time to play that, because that looks like a lot of fun. Next up for me is going to be Silent Hill F, actually. It's going to be my first Silent Hill game. Basically, after I finish the Arknights event for Limbus Company, I'm rolling into Silent Hill F to see how that is. So, because I really want to... while I'm not really a horror fan or anything, I'm a Ryukishi fan. So I really like Higurashi, Umineko, that sort of stuff, and I want to see what he does for the story-wise for it. So that's something I want to do. And yeah, fair enough there. If Digimon happened, I imagine that's going to be like a 150-hour game or something like that. For the other Digimon games are anything to go by. I can definitely imagine, as a Silent Hill fan, you'd be curious to see the new direction that this one is going. The fact that they've sort of said that like this isn't going to be the way that we're doing things forever going forward is probably going to be reassuring to Silent Hill fans, I imagine. Because it means like, hey, if you like Silent Hill F, great. Like that's a nice side story. If you don't like it, well, that sucks. But it's not what they're doing forever, right? So they'll be able to go back to it. And yeah, also Konami's done fuck with all of their IPs for so many fucking years. I mean, God, Metal Gear Survive, right? Castlevania, all that sort of shit. Also a bunch of like bad Silent Hill games as well. So yeah, it's really potluck with what you get with Konami these days. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like a fish out of water too. Man, barely got even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Well, everyone's got to be really tired then. So, it's just you two out here for now? Yep, no problem there, totally understand. I know that you're not actively playing Limbus Company at the moment or anything like that, but the option's always there. So... Actually... Fair. Before you go... this one, like, is legitimately a limited event. Like, this one ends in 2 weeks. And I don't think like it's going into like storage or anything like that, just due to the fact that it's a collab sort of thing. I believe it is available to you to play, like even though you're not up to date or anything. Yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah. Like there's an easy mode and a hard mode. Easy mode will level you up automatically to the next level. Hard mode is, yeah, it's scaling. And don't have the time or bother. Yeah, fair enough. Understandable. Just thought I'd let you know, because I know that you I better to be aware that you're making a choice to miss it rather than like go into it like I don't know, a year from now and be like, oh, wasn't there an Arknights thing sort of here? Oh fuck, that's no longer here? God damn it. So yeah, just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry about that, just have to blow my nose. As I said, still a little bit sick, unfortunately, but I wanted to... Especially, I wanted to stream this because it's a limited time event, and I want to make sure that it is available on my channel for posterity's sake. So, yeah. Everyone's gonna be really tired then. So, it's just you two out here for now? No. Ishmael and Yisang are the other half of the search party. We just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching elsewhere to find you, Manager Bud. We got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't. Oh, yeah, because I imagine, like, not a lot of people actually recorded that, and that's Like, I don't think that's in, like, the VOD files or anything like that, so you can't sort of go over that. The fact that you caught that means that it's available for people to watch. I didn't realize it got that high a view count, though. That's pretty amazing. I guess there just must be like that few like recordings of it, and your one managed to like basically like get the algorithm traffic and get the views to be self-sustaining. Awesome. Clean recording as well. Okay, yep, that's that probably also helps as well. Like, I imagine, like, some people do genuinely want a clean recording rather than me, like, talking with chat and giving voices to characters and shit. Definitely a place for clean recordings, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely good that there is a clean recording available of it, 100%, because I really do like the Limbus company April Fool's segments. Like, I might have recorded the second one if I had the presence of mind to, but like, I kind of caught it like late at night, like on my phone, incidentally, like as I was going to bed, and I was like, well, I'm not leaving it now. Like, I accidentally opened up Limbus Company when the April Fool's event started. Let's just go through it, and that turned out to be about an hour where I wanted to go to sleep. But yeah, that was good. How was the second one? A bit of a different format. Yeah, very much more involved. I thought it was going to be a short thing like the first one, but yeah. That's it's got combat content. Speaking of Bear, apparently that boss battle is available as like a bonus battle in the Mirror Dungeon these days. I haven't actually gotten it. Like, I think it is one of the super high tier secret battles that you can sort of get if you go up to level like 11 plus of the Mirror Dungeon. But yeah, it's a thing. I'm not sure if they've like tuned it to be more involved or anything like that. I haven't dug into it, but I'm glad that. Yeah. I don't know, like, if they've sort of like gone over that to make it like an actual fight or what. Because I didn't actually watch a video of it. I just know that it is a thing. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so I'll probably continue their search until their shift is done. Oh, are we talking about that village you mentioned earlier? Uh-huh. Right. You've not been there yet, huh? I guess it's a bit off the beaten track. Well, going to have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amiya's interest, as she fell into a contemplative silence before carefully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. Helped us find Manager Bud, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. Haha, I don't actually know Iberia that well either, but I should be able to be of some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission. Ah, it's Plague Inc. They've locked down the borders to prevent the disease from getting in. It's fucking Madagascar or Iceland or whatever. Closed borders, huh? Oh, Greenland. That's the other hard one. Sorry, not Iceland. How did you get in, Miss Amia? He followed Dr. Calcit's directions and illegally crossed the country border. Illegally? Oh? Does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permission, Amia? Yeah, Iceland's fine in Plague Inc. It's Greenland and it's mostly Greenland. I think Madagascar's also a bit tricky in Plague Inc. But Greenland's the big one in that one. That was like the only Flash game where Madagascar was the really tricky one. Yeah, what that one was called now. It wasn't Pandemic. That's the board game. Whatever. We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be. I think more boats go there, while Greenland only gets occasional boats from Denmark and Russia. Yeah, Greenland is very isolated in Plague Inc. So that's why people might want to choose to start there. It'll definitely slow you down early on, but at least you won't have to worry about it later. Huh. Is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. I mean, look at K-Corp, right? Yes, Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people infected with oropathy. But we also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas. High-risk areas, huh? Wait, what about your companions? I doubt you came all the way here on your own. That's, we were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop! Since Amia was born in Rimbilliton, she would have an Australian accent canonically. Yep, she would if she was born in Rimbilliton. As I'm not sure if I've mentioned it on stream or anything like that. I probably have. Like, there's three sort of like broad categories of Australian accent that you can have. Like, obviously, there's also regional differences, but the three broad ones are cultured, general, and one that's actually called broad. Broad is the one that you sort of like hear, like the very stereotypical one, with like Steve Irwin, Crocodile Dundee, like that sort of thing. Cultured is like a little bit more British, I guess. Like it's considered a little more refined. And then general is general. Which side got isekai for this collab to happen anyway? Hey Siop! The Limbus side got isekai'd. So if you can sort of see up the top over here, Iberia is definitely not a place to show up in the city, I guess. Definitely make sure you get started on the collab, though. If you don't finish it in 2 weeks, it's gone forever. Emia's ears twitched as she came to a stop and began scanning the surrounding area. Then, there! As we stood about confused, Emiya, noticing something, pointed towards the seashore hidden behind large and cragged rock formations. Yep, 2 weeks left. What are we supposed to... Huh? There, we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword, bickering with 2 familiar faces. Again, move. You're in the way. You needn't worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. Listen, I'm not worried. It's... Come on. Better to have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, the first person we ran into out here, so... We've got a lot of questions to ask. I'm guessing Skadi is popular in Arknights? I don't have context for any of these people. Like, I played like chapter 1 of Arknights. I like Angelina. She looks like me. Isan! Ishmael! And I want to be clear, she looks like me. It's not me that looks like her. I was first. Dante, you are unharmed. And here I was, getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. You were all really worried that we might never be able to find you. We managed to find them, thanks to help from Miss Amia here. Amia? You two acquainted? Not a good time for a reunion. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Skadi? Those organisms, the Seaborns Dr. Calcit mentioned? Yes, you're going all in on Gilberta when Enfield comes out. Yes. I understand that Gilberta is Angelina in Enfield. So, yes, if I choose to give Enfield a go, I will be obviously trying to get Gilberta. They're sea terrors, to be specific. The less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me. You're missing part of your pants there. Sea terrors? I hear the sticky noise of something viscous slithering against the rocks. When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy, wet scent of brine. At the end of my gaze awaits strange monsters, unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I'd ever seen. Roll until we have ERB at home and Mystic Tale. Like Elizabeth, like Hololive Elizabeth is in Enfield. Is as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. This almost certainly weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Excuse me. What's Griff Line, anyway? Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must put her in a wary mood. Hypogriff rebanded to Griff Line for Enfield. Is that the name of a character? Like, I thought you were talking about, like, a game or something. Hypergriff are the devs. Rebanded. So where did they collab then? Is Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame in Arknights? The collab is a joke. I know you're confusing me there. One of the characters... Okay. See, that's all you had to say! That's all you had to say. Ishmael seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. I mean, Enfield will come out when it comes out, right? Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? I don't know. Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries, after all. Okay. What do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I could make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. More enemies on the horizon. We should prepare for battle. Huh? Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. No, let's take them out. There we go, we already accidentally did the battle early, so we won't have to do that again. Glad to let them cook. Griffith Line has only disappointed you 3 times. Not once, not twice, but thrice! Hey Sophie, how you going? Anyway, we'll do our post-battle scene. All remaining enemies have retreated to the sea. Good work, everyone. Didn't think I'd have to deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. It would have taken us the whole day if that Scotty character didn't occupy the other half, while Miss Rabbit helped us from a distance. I don't recall there being any passive effects with Amia sniping the enemy or anything. I don't actually know how she attacks. I forget. Monetization for some skins, slap some skins together with some other material for a stupidly overpriced package. Ah, yeah. Annoying stuff like that. Just let me buy the skin. Hooray for a quiet day! Ah, good. I could fucking go for a quiet day, to be honest. Like fucking one day to myself after my holidays, and then I'm freaking back to work. I'm still fucking jet lagged. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I heard a brief hum. When I turned to look at its source, I saw Scardy glaring at me with palpable alarm. Hey puppy, how you going? Strange people who transform. I mean, don't you guys have, like, transformations as well? Like, when you get high enough level or something, you get, like, all fancy and shit? I don't know, I don't play Arknights. And a head of clock. I guess they're both technically true. Elite 2, get a new splash art. Yeah, okay. While it's nothing more than a theory at this point, I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door that we're supposed to be investigating. Oh, type 3, gotcha. And then again, what a base story. See, you gotta the noob again. No, see, this is saltwater. This is a coastline. It's not a river. totally different. Beat 2 grinding for newbies tend to take a hell of a long time. Many thoughts head full. Bing. Better than head empty, right? Maybe? A busy mind is a healthy mind. Nice to meet you, I guess? I only hear a ticking clock. Oh, that's because only us sinners could hear Dante's voice. Huh? Hmm? What's up? No. I'm just wondering how Miss Amir can seemingly understand Dante. Psychic torture sessions are over. That's good. I definitely can't recommend psychic torture sessions to people. That does not sound fun. Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah. Completely flew over my head that I didn't even question how weird this is. I did! I questioned it. Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me too, but I don't know. It's almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotion they're trying to convey. Her explanation reminded me of the Blue Boy in Sinclair's past, but I didn't quite feel the uncanny sensation from Amir that I felt from them. Anyway, we got our first ad break, and I'm actually still feeling fairly good. I was a little bit worried, what with being a little bit sick and jet lagged. But yeah, so we'll take a short break here and return in a few minutes, okay? See you soon. All right, and we're back. Let's resume some Limbus company, shall we? Okay. Hopefully, people weren't too sort of like mixed up by the time that I started streaming it. Obviously, I didn't really get the chance to warn people too much because I was on holidays, but I did switch over to daylight savings time, so that might have been noticeable for people outside of Australia, at least, because yes, the Southern Hemisphere does things different. So, she can read me kind of like how Virgilius can, I guess? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true. It's been a bit of a hassle to always need Faust or Honglu to translate for you, Dante. I mean, you can do it. I don't see why you can't do it. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we've got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So, are we heading back? Sounds like a plan. Not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she'd help us find our way back. I'm glad to be working with you two also, Miss Ishmael, Mr. Yisan. Took the words right out of my mouth. You've already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it ere the sun's fall would be wise. Ishmael doesn't have a brochure to read about Iberia, does she? How long's the journey? No idea. Not like we have a clock with us. I do know it's not very far, though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Scotty just staring at Dante. Scotty quietly points in my direction. Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time. Then why the clock head? I didn't exactly choose to get myself a clock-shaped head. Limbus company's great. Obviously, not everyone is into gacha games. That's something I recognize right off the bat. So, if you just want to experience a story, I've got most of it on my channel. There are 2 cantos that are currently missing, but I will get around to those eventually. Otherwise, if you are fine with gacha games, like, yeah, give Limbus Company a go. I really enjoyed the story for it. And I know everyone says this about their gacha game, but this one is a lot more generous than other ones, yada yada yada. Snowbrick and Magia Exedra taking up gacha slots. Yep, understandable, 100%. I did try and add on Exedra, but I don't have time for it, unfortunately, so I dropped that one. As much as I like Madoka. I looked away from Skadi's inquisitive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. Oh. What's been, I'm not familiar with Snowbreak, so... what sort of game is that? And what sort of bullshit do they have exactly that's really frustrating you? Oh, Limbus has some pretty fast dailies as well. The weekly is a bit longer, admittedly. Like a full sort of a mirror dungeon run can be about an hour or so. But the dailies, like, you'll be done with those in like 5 minutes or something. Possibly less. Burbrick is a third-person shooter gacha game. Amazing story that they just locked behind finishing the new half of the story. So if I'm getting this right, you have to finish the end of the story to play the first part of the story? I was like, if so, like, yeah, I'd be calling bullshit on that as well. Yeah, okay, I was right. Yeah, that is kind of bullshit. Like, that's... What the fuck are you doing, mate? Like, that's almost as bad as how Destiny basically, like, locks off content as it goes along. And suddenly, like, you can't play the start of the game anymore, and, like, just so much is lost. Almost as bad because at least eventually you can get it. But, like, holy hell, like, who the fuck starts a story from halfway through, right? You start from the start. Like, that's how you're meant to read stories. Now, for the most part, I know that there are some artistic conventions that say that you might start from the middle, but that's, like, deliberate. Like, this is just bullshit. Also, Sunset Gradient of Souls, and that might be one of the best stories I've seen in any game, so you're still super unhappy about that. So is that just not available at all anymore? The coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. So how did people manage to build a village at a place like this? The monsters are called Seaborns, or Sea Terrors, yes? While it is true that they pose certain difficulties, they were hardly the kind of monsters with the strength to bring Scourge and drive out the local populace. Oh, fuck, that's annoying. I really hate it when games do that. Limbus Company doesn't do that. It is admittedly, with this collab event happening right now, this one will eventually become unavailable, but that's, like, due to, like, copyright law or something like that. Like, it's sadly not really up to them or anything, so I understand, even if it is annoying. And it's why I consider it important to actually record this, so that people will be able to like, watch it in the future. But yeah, like, Limbus has been really good about making sure that there is no content that players are unable to access. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. She's just telling us to be on our guard, right? Skadi can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person. I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Skadi's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quietly quickened my pace as we walked to the village. Yeah, just excuse me for a moment. Alright, sorry about that. Now, let's resume, shall we? So, Village of the Dead Lighthouse. Senpai, you say that about any woman associated with the sea. This hardly looks like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it? It doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place. Not in a while, at least. They're really here, living together. The strange buildings tell the stories of former prosperity from a bygone era. Our steps leave no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a rotting sign marked with the name Faro Muerto. Obviously Spanish, I'm not quite sure what that means. Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of long, violent abandonment. You don't see these kinds of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there willing to capitalize on that free real estate, be it a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up. Better than this, at least. Appreciate the object head protagonist. One of your few great gripes with Snowbreak, besides the new BS, is that the player character is explicitly male. I do like it when they either go with like a proper sort of like neutral protagonist, or give you the choice between male or female. Feel like that's important. Especially if the character is intended to be like a blank cipher, I guess. Yeah, as Skylar says, I like it when the player character is a character and not a self-insert. At which point, like, yeah, like I can see why someone might deliberately choose to like pick a gender for a character, because they're a person and maybe their gender identity is important to them. But also, like, just for the player's sake, like, it's good to have a choice in where possible. Well, I mean, the joke, Senpai, is like a lot of people misgendering Dante, and the meme goes, "Hey, his pronouns are they, them." Yeah, I like Dante. Dante is great. Commander in Snowbreak is empty. Okay, yep, if the commander is empty, then that should have been choosable, absolutely. I mean, Girls Frontline 2, like, that lets you choose gender, and like the character's even voiced as well. So like they've gone with the effort to like even go so far as having a voice, like 2 voices for a character, and 2 different, as well as 2 different models. So okay, just do it, right? Character, right? Definitely meant to be representing the player as well. Yeah, absolutely, Poppy, 100%. Also, I don't like when games are clearly... I know this is gacha games a lot, but I don't like it when basically all the characters are falling over themselves to proposition the main character. Like, I say this as someone who is asexual. I don't get it. Like, please. Please, stop. If the adjutant's hood just cast a complete shadow over their face and they wore gloves, you'd have no complaints. Hate the adjutant's behavior. What's their behavior like? For exactly that reason, everyone is trying to date the adjutant and it gets a bit weird. Yeah. Thankfully, in this one, you don't have everyone falling over themselves to try and date Dante or anything like that. Hell, the closest you get to someone being like fawning over Dante is Otis, and the way she does it is in a manner that is just plain weird and makes her look suspicious, and like deliberately trying to like suck up for advantage rather than because she cares about Dante. Yeah, very sus. And yeah, Dante, for being an amnesiac character, shows a remarkable amount of humanity, I guess. Like being like actively repulsed by some of the activities of the city, like wanting to sort of like actively look after the sinners under their care, even though they've been thrust into this situation. Although, that being said, like the sinners are also the only people that Dante can actually interact with, given the fact that they lack a voice. So, like, that's sort of like being forced into a situation as well. Like, along with the whole, like, hey, if you do this for us, you'll be able to, like, regain your memories, and your personhood, essentially. So, like, there's that as well, but... like, Dante, like, genuinely, like, cares. I just still don't believe Virgil can hear them. Like, Virgilius definitely, even though he says that he doesn't understand Dante's ticking, like, he is very much able to have a conversation with Dante. But yeah, Dante's a good person, in my opinion. So, where are the sinners? There's a clearing down there where we were entrapped betwixt a twain of great ships narrowing, winds against our sail. Ooh. And that is when young Ishmael boomed, her command most resonant. Which one is the one with the sword hand? Lily Cat, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Fox Shrine. I hope you enjoy your stay. I don't think anyone's got a sword hand in Limbus Company. Gregor has an insect hand. If that's who you're thinking about, perhaps. Snowbreak in general is weird. They tried crapping on Exilium for their NTR moment, only to do something way worse. Queequeg Heath. Oh yeah, Queequeg. Is, and like there's also sorry, god damn it, Ahab, who has a sword leg, I guess, technically a harpoon leg, but that's definitely very distinctive. Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for them. That unmistakably sonorous and familiar voice, echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote's voice, when she's sharing her adventurous tales. My goat! I fucking love Don Quixote. Like they released a bunch of like Limbus company like plush dolls, and I bought 2 of them. One of them was Otis, and one of them was Don Quixote, because those 2 are my favorite sitters. They're actually really good plushies. Like they're pretty solid, but they're like made out of felt, and like it's just really nice, sort of like stroking their hair. Like they're really well made. I like them. Almost all your knowledge of Limbus Company comes from a half-remembered spotlight video of a Don't Starve mod. So you're not going to get everything right. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, nice, Lily. GFL2 wanted to write a story about redemption but forgot some cultural context and people assumed our characters were sleeping around. Snowbreak would never empty out the player. Have a shapeshifter take the shape of one of the waifus and then sleep with the villain. I mean, technically that's not NTR. There she was, standing atop a low podium like an actor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures, like a traveling thespian. And let's try not to sort of like specify like nationality or race or anything like that, Senpai. Like you can just say incels. I know that like the Chinese fan base of games can get very aggressive sometimes, but that's like fan bases of like all countries can be aggressive. First thing you can think of him as having Acacia, girl whose actual age is 17 plus 360 months in cryostation range in birth. Yeah. Answers, ye dogs, oarsmen! 'Tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of vessel Mephistopheles, shall never... Stop! Hold on. Just what do you think you're doing? Young Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was just about to regale them with the most fantastic tale of adventures at the Great Lake. Manager Esquire! Verily, thou hast returned with Manager Esquire safely in tow. What? Oh, Oh, I found Clockhead. A burning clock for a head? When I was a child, I heard a story about a legendary Sarkaz with a flaming head. Why would someone like that visit our humble village? While their exterior may carry elements that inspire fear in some, there is no cause for alarm. Yeah, they might look like that, but they're Dante, our manager, and the rest are... Oh, hello. I'm sorry, who are you two? I just... Like, I don't mind, like polycules or anything like that. I just don't like the whole, like, gacha harem protagonist that happens all the time. I know I'm probably in the minority, given like the audiences of these games and all that. Like, I can still, like, not like something. I mean, the show worked for N Corp, right? N Corp, not exactly a shining bastion of individuals. What if even Polyegg adjutant with Acacia as the asexual game dev who was too busy programming fish? That's your truth. Yeah, no problem, Lily. All the best with work. Don't work too hard. I haven't actually looked at She Association's stats or anything like that, but that's good to hear. I did enjoy the video of She Faust, so glad to hear that it's a good idea as well. I'm sorry, who are you two? They're two very nice people who helped us find Dante. This is Miss Amia. This is Miss Amia, leader of Rhodes Island, and this is Miss Skadi, their operator. They'll be coming along with us for a little while. Faust is the only 3-star one. Every other she is a 2-star. I remember some people, like, at the start, like, saying that you can do some cool stuff with the she IDs, or at least, like, one specific one or something. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. At the start of the game, Project Moon didn't know how the game mechanics worked. And yeah, the Heisho are very strong. Like, if you just want to field, like, a bunch of, like, generally strong characters, I can't go wrong with fielding all Heisho. Right, Kuro? Huh? With us? We believe that the dimensional door, which we at Rhodes Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia. As Amia was bringing the sinners up to speed, the villagers, who were staring at us curiously, approached us. Now, this is one thing that I sort of disagree with Limbus Company and Project Moon on, but from what it sounds like in interviews, ID power creep is a deliberate thing. So they're not likely to go back over old IDs to strengthen them. Like, their reasoning is something that I understand, and like absolutely makes sense for Project Moon to do, being that as the characters increase in strength, like, they're drawing on stronger IDs and the like. so they're naturally going to be stronger than the previous ones. That's why they're like literally like lower rank and the like. However, the fact that the game is a gacha game means that power creep means that you have to keep up with things. You can't just use the old stuff. If the game were like Library of Ruiner, for example, like that'd be fine. Like keep them weak. Like as you progress, you just scale them out. But yeah, because you can't because when you're doing rolls, you can't control who you're pulling. That is a critical flaw, because it means that you can access, for example, Heisho characters from Kanto 1, or you might get stuck, like if you're particularly unlucky, using like low-level character, low-tier characters and early game characters all the way up to later Kantos. Yeah, Musou is the protagonist from The Little Stranger. All of the sinners are the main characters from different literary books. In case you haven't sort of picked up on that. Like obviously you got Don Quixote from Don Quixote, Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights, Ishmael from Moby Dick. Like all of them are from various stories, and their respective cantos and character arcs do loosely follow those plot lines and introduce other characters from them. So Ishmael has a big conflict with Ahab, for example, in her big story arc, which is still my favorite, I think, in Limbus Company. Like that's just incredible there, along with like the relationship with Queequeg, which is definitely Yuri in this, instead of Yaoi in Moby Dick. Snowbreak, Chono, and Musou share a body. Not clear on the exact nature of their relationship, but you love them both and want to give them both head pats, because my goodness, all the Snowbreak characters are traumatized. Yeah, they're all traumatized in this one as well, so don't you worry. The villagers, who were staring at us curiously, approached us. Did our conversation manage to convince them that we're not a threat? Sure hope so. Ah, you are friends of our saviors. Saviors? Verily, 'tis quite the grand title. Yet that is indeed the word by which we addressed. To be more precise, by saviors, they are referring only to Faust and Otis. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. So, I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival. What business do outsiders here have? What business do outsiders have here? What if they're from the Inquisition? Oh no, what do we do? After all we went through to get here. Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are. Man, I don't think they're gonna trust us anytime soon. They're all old curmudgeons. That's STNC. Then PTSD. Very funny to imagine villagers seeing this clock rock up and start ticking, only for people to start speak to them like they just said words. You definitely get a few people with reactions like that. You can't do that, Yoshu. we can't pillage their storage depots. It looks like they already have it hard enough as is. I don't think STNC is a good way to get started either. Should we just find help elsewhere? Just look at how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Perhaps we could inquire as to their whereabouts ere we are to decide our lodging. While the landscape is certainly reminiscent of U-Corps, but I don't recall seeing or learning about any place that looks like this. Though I can't say I've been to every corner of U-Corp. I ask again, what business do outsiders have here? Their fingers are tightening around the grips of their weapons. Prolonged silence will most likely turn this into a hostile encounter. We can't have that. Hi, we're from Limbus Company. We're fixers of justice. Sure. Yeah, that. Fixers are just... Oi! Don't you know when to keep it down? Fixers? That over there. It's a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief? This does not concern you. It's not something a mere outsider can understand. Curious. I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run the tests to rule out any stability issues? It seems to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to the utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Faust? The general design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there certainly are inspired parts to this design, particularly with the usage of the core energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, this technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient. You identified all that merely by glancing at this blueprint? You must be the village chief, then? If so, I have a proposition for you. In return for assisting in their ship repair, we were promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going out to sea, we may be able to find a way to return to whence we came. Does that mean that we can find a way back somewhere out there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch. Alright, yeah, that's the chiefs famously need to be knowledgeable about fusion core technology. I know, it's just basic knowledge. You gotta know these things when you're village chief. A hunch. Sensing the implicit omen in her choice of words, I slowly turned around to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. Alright, so this is something that I haven't covered on this channel yet, because we haven't done the W Corp Intervallo yet on stream. But yeah, this is something that's happened before. If we're really in a different world, even her Gesellschaft has to be... No issues were encountered in the repair process. Faust smiles faintly as she looks around, then she pulls me in by my hems. She whispers in a low voice. My connection to Gesellschaft is currently operating at a suboptimal level, Dante. So, it's still connected, at least? Indeed it is. However, even exchanges of simple information are taking up to dozens of hours by current calculation. So she's to basically to basically explain, Gesellschaft is essentially her Discord server with alternate reality versions of herself. And right now she's on a potato connection and can't really chat with herself in other universes, and so doesn't have the combined Faust Discord to help her out with her intelligence checks. I mean, do you have a degree in theoretical physics? I mean, I have a theoretical degree in physics. They said welcome aboard. Classic small game with 70 GB data download. Yeah, that's how a lot of games are, unfortunately. You download the base version of the game, then you boot it up, and hey, you gotta patch the damn game now, because you gotta patch it through our servers instead of through Steam. It's a great line, Ada. Absolutely. Be careful to keep Ada, Blossom, Faust engaged, or else the Gesellschaft may go offline for a bit. Boom. The Society? What's this, Skylar? Is this a warp train situation? Because we're in a different dimension? Boards should be identical. We have been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Faust is aware that the pathway to our original dimension is yet to close this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train. So, get back to where we came from. Indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. Yep, so our bandwidth's being throttled because it's got to go through the portal. And from that, came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to the sea. Yes, well, I am also a genius, after all. Amir conjectured that we probably came through a dimensional door of sorts. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. With high likelihood, yes. At least there's a way back. I find myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repair have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get its core parts shipshape again, Executive Manager. Well, we'll be staying here a few more days then. How did you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you this whole time. Took turns helping with the repairs and resting, but I doubt any of us got a proper night's rest. Still, we weren't cold, thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with that local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What's it for? Looks like a sack to collect water. Give it here. I know how to get that installed. It must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis's efforts at repairing their ship. Yet, the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking the transactional nature into account. They're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? For food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread Roger keeps in her pockets. Didn't want to eat them to their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know? She carries enough cookies and bread for 12 people? I mean, she's a big lady. She absolutely has enough pockets for that much people, right? They did offer us some nosh, those dried fish things, but we refused. Oh, I ain't about taking food from the needy. Yeah. Gesellschaft is basically a community of self. The IDs that we draw on in battle, the alternate universe versions of people, uses like the mirror developed by Yi Sun, and Gesellschaft is sort of like an offshoot of that, where she's basically got an internet connection with all the alternate universe versions of herself, which is able to broadly increase her base of information for basically everything. It's interesting because, like, the way she seems to sort of like speak in the third person at times. One of her sayings is, "Faust only knows what Faust knows." Given that she's got an internet connection with alternate versions of herself, basically a limitless number of them, like, yeah, she knows what Faust knows. Every single Faust out there, and they're able to like work together and pool their knowledge to figure out the answers to a lot of complicated problems. And there's also, I think in the second April Fools, like where there was like a body swap event that happened, and she got stuck in Don Quixote's body. She was absolutely terrified of being mocked and made fun of by the rest of the Faust Discord, the Gesellschaft, for being stuck in Don's body, because, Don is Don, right? No need to concern yourselves so much with our hospitality. You have done more than enough to earn your keep. I turned around to look at the source of that low, rumbling voice, and saw an old man in an outfit that seemed to distinguish itself amongst the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay the night? We do have places to shelter from the misty humidity, at the very least. There's an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Oh, are you sure? I mean, I don't mind sleeping in the streets myself. Hey, speak for yourself! I've been looking forward to sleeping with a roof over my head since, like, yesterday. You'll catch a cold sleeping in the elements in this environment, which is fine by me for the rest of you, but we cannot afford to have the executive manager or our honored guests suffer that fate. Honored guests? I heard what happened from the 4 who left in search of the executive manager. First, I would like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy, in case our stay becomes significantly prolonged. I fucking love Shady Eyes Otis, as she's conniving and all that. Hey Renter, how you going? Just surprised by her boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right there. I am quite enjoying it, thank you very much. I've not played I've played a tiny little bit of Arknights. Not enough to say that I've played it, in my opinion. So it's really nice to see what they've done here. Even if I might not be able to appreciate it as much as someone who does actively play Arknights would appreciate it, it's still quite nice. They've clearly put a lot of effort into respecting both the Arknights' source material as well as their own source material for this collaboration. I would have liked if they had an Angelina ego, but alas, they don't. And I stay in your village too, Chief? The village chief took a brief glance at the hems of her right wrist, then nodded. Welcome to Faro Muerto. You are welcome to stay for as long as you want. What does that translate as? Give me a moment. Oh, Dead Lighthouse. Alright, there we go. And please, do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped repair the vessel. Ooh! Yeah, better not go back on your word later. I wonder what kind of local delicacies await. Dried fish like they were eating earlier, maybe? Saw someone in Mirror Dungeon roll 122 with Milner Gregor. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Excuse me. Hey, Chief. What is it? Just how are you surviving out here? By the sea? Perhaps the question of how we are surviving may be somewhat misdirected. Floor 15, which means they're extremely sturdy. Yeah, I've not gone past floor 10 yet. Or we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive. The chief responds to Skadi's perceived hostility with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. Can't learn much more from here. And make a second collab though, I hope for Vulpus Voglia Yoshu. I feel like Counterside would make for a good collab target for Limbus Company. Like, that game seems to have a lot in common with Limbus Company in terms of aesthetic and style, similar to how Arknights does. So I feel like that would be appropriate. I hope that they are able to make an anime for the game, or make that city builder game that they talked about doing. That'd be fun. Huh? You going somewhere at this hour? Skadi, does this have something to do with the coast? I remember what you said before we got to the village about how coasts are hardly good places to live in. Yeah, that's why I mention it, because I know that they've talked about it. I want those to happen. And yeah, gotta be 26 episodes. I want a 26 episode anime series set in Project Moon's universe. Dante wants to know if this has something to do with the coast. I'm not necessarily looking for a Limbus Company specific anime, like something that follows like either Lobotomy Corporation, Ruiner, or Limbus Company directly. I'd be fine with something like set in the universe that tells its own story. Or maybe they could do like Distortion Detective if they don't make the game for that, or something else. But Limbus Company specific, like that's fine. I'd be fine with that as well. You. Do you understand the Aegir language? Aegir language? No. Dante. Skadi just spoke in Aegirian. I couldn't understand a word of Skadi and the chief's conversation because I don't speak Aegirian. It may only be that there were enough lexical similarity between one of the city's languages and the language Skadi spoke in and comprehend the meaning. Weird coincidence. Anyway, I have some things to look into. Something you're all too slow to see. You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember that you're not on a solo mission, Skadi. This is a team effort from Rhodes Island. Will do. Skadi nodded lightly while leaping off into the night, out of our sights. I'm kinda worried. Excuse me. She's not the best with people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Alright, so we've got our second ad break. So we'll take another brief pause here, and then we will resume in a few minutes, okay? Be right back. All right, and we're back. Let's resume some Limbus Company, shall we? Okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Oh, yeah. We can probably just pick an unlit building and stay the night there, right? Trying our best to ignore the mood that was starting to turn awkward, we made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Okay. So, next up will be Terra over here. So, let's... Excuse me. Let's go do that, shall we? Yeah, like I remember that the there's a lot of text in this collab, which is great, but also means I've got to read a lot. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings. Walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings. It just feels odd to have like two narrows there. Before we came across a hall large enough to house all 15 or so of us. Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. And Amir is so small compared to Roger. Whoa. Thought we were doomed to shudder ourselves asleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. No idea that'd work. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire. The downside being all this smoke. It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bequeath upon me thine ingredients, young Rodion, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup. Amir's even smaller than Don Quixote, who is, I'm sure, over the moon to no longer be the shortest among the people here. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? No! 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 You are not getting anywhere near the kitchen again. Not after what you cooked up last time. While I must admit to a certain level of interest, as many of our fellows viscera are oft racked with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making, perhaps it would be wiser that we save the occasion for a safer environment. Right. Don't you remember? We agreed to leave cooking to Merle only if we were ever in a situation like this, remember? Did we? See, I think it's become sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. Yeah, Musso and Otis definitely proving themselves to be the best cooks of Limbus Company. Remember? Back during last year's cooking contest at K-Corp, they were the only two people who managed to get remotely positive views. Oh, does that mean we'll get to try Otis's cooking once again? Denied. We still have plenty of high-calorie food like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. I'm glad to see that everyone's still energetic given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Well, we're all quite used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Amir? She shook her head, unconcerned. Concerned. They might have lost their comms devices. Or maybe they ran into some other trouble. Would they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. The doctor, Dr. Calcit, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves. Or if the doctor will show up in this. Long have this curiosity lingered within me. Thus, allow me to inquire. corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet, the activities of your corporation resemble those of charity organizations, as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicate this blurred distinction? Ah! Oh, I wanted to know too. A pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island's helping people. That's definitely a quote right there. How come a pharmaceutical company is helping people? Something about what Hong Lu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen through the cascade of flowing tears in the face of suffering. The embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Hong Lu's fathoms. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing the capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. Hoping there isn't a third hidden download so you can actually get to doing some Steam sorcery. What's this for? Is Steam sorcery a game? It's called Oropathy. Amiya showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallizations. I mean, yeah, like I do. There are definitely some games out there that will do a download and then be like, okay, you've updated the client, now it's time to do the actual download. Gotcha. Just a generic sort of thing. Understandable. Honestly, I just think it's magic that I've finally got, like, fast internet. How fast is it now? Give me a quick moment. Download a game that isn't on the store, downloading an old version of game you own. Gotcha. Yeah. So, like, I finally got, like, 500 megabits per second download speed. I've still only got, like, 30 megabits upload speed. But, like, fuck, this is magic to me. Like 5 years ago, I had like fucking like a 5 megabit download speed or something like that, and like one upload. Like it was basically like really hard to do like anything reasonable. I know that's the reason why I didn't start streaming until I finally got like decent internet, which was like 50 megabits download and like 10 upload or something like that. Like I was like, oh god, this is beautiful, I love this. And like recently got an upgrade that pushed it up to 500 download, and like it's magical. I truly live it in the future now. This time you're putting a portal in one of your folders, so Limbus company is on your D drive instead of being mostly on C. Okay. Trying to make sure that you can spread out the space on your computer so that you don't sort of like overload one drive or anything. Or maybe your D drive's already like overloaded or something. But yeah. Its appearance reminded me of the bio-treatments from the back streets. There was something more to it. Something more restless, more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. I don't actually see any black crystals on the back of her hand or anything. This isn't the back of her right. I suppose that's her left hand, her right hand's over there. So, alright. Lock this space by obliterating the blight that is Minecraft. not giving it up for a gacha game, no matter how good it is. Yeah, fair enough. Honestly, 390 is fucking good in my book. Like, I only just got the 500 like last month, essentially. Obviously, like, that doesn't mean anything unless you got reliable internet as well. Again, I only sort of got reliable internet, like about 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. Basically, when I started streaming. Anyone in Terra has originium crystals in their veins. Oropathy is just way too many. Both down and upload? Ooh, that's nice. Upload speeds here are ridiculously bad. People don't respect upload speed. But there's an even worse problem. Hold on, just need to double check. Yeah. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable deadly disease? While it varies region by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra. Yeah, that's definitely one thing I remember about Arknights. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. He sung up again with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions. There have been massacres too. I don't mean to be callous, but is this oropathy highly contagious? No. There have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact, as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal growths on their body decay and turn to dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague. I guess that's the whole way too many crystals, right? Breathe them in, suddenly got way too many crystals in you, and I suppose your antibodies are no longer able to fight them or something. So, Is there also something about humans can't contract oropathy or something like that? And it's only the beastkin species that can come down with it? Was that a thing? Then, barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity of the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. So what's the problem then? They're already past the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. 6S Collab operators don't have it, but the doctor has a specific reason why they haven't contracted it. Because they wear a gas mask everywhere? Then Rhodes Island's goal has to be, yes, it is important to develop a cure for oropathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. That's not going to be an easy endeavor, though that is what gives your effort more meaning. I hope you can achieve that goal, Amir. I really do. The truth! City. This world. We both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we? What kind of world did you come from? This city? What kind of place is the city, anyway? The kind of place with too many pointless rules. The kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much, you see something even worse. Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. The sinners seemed to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. The kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished. Sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there. Oh, it's a shithole. It's an irrational place, full of absurdities. Absurdity is an omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved. We can at least grouse about them, though. I mean, it's the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more and acclimatize oneself to it, instead of complaining. You did say something like that last time. Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Quixote's shout shattered through the awkwardness. Verily, nary a day goeth by untarnished by villains and their fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil riseth, so doth fixers of justice too. Don Quixote jumped from her seat, steadily shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and a sound of small pebbles tumbling down. Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa! Huh? We found a girl, may we keep her? And from behind the wall, she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book. How farest thou? Farest thy foot? You can apologize first. Oh, lass seemed a tad too hyper today. Look, someone throw a ball for her. Have her chase that a bit. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? Two? Pray tell, to what? Forget the apology. I just want to know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to do what? Well, Don's never going to calm down now. Oh! Hast thou come to me to hear the tale of fixers? I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Don Quixote's was the one who punched the wall down. I should be saying Quixote rather than Don, as Don is a signifier of her nobility rather than her actual name. Yeah. Oh, is it too late an hour? I don't mind waiting until morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite early an hour for tales, in fact. Prithee, seat thyself here. You ungovernable fool, calm down. You don't even know who she is. Don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep. Thou makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kind of stories. We should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mares. I'm... how should I put this? Did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my Gramps. Oh, that nice guy. So, he had a granddaughter. Yet, I have not seen you once, Miss Mares, under the sun. He's a blood fiend! You tell her all the stories she wants to hear, but at least let the rest of us sleep. It has been a long day. Oh my, you're right. Thought the village was completely dried of any young blood. Like Roger said, while we didn't see mares out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young. You're telling me Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside, going on and on about the dangers that the outsiders pose and everything. It seems that they do not give full faith to their saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust with your life. Though, I would like to know why. My. So, there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village? No. There isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why he'd be overprotective. Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I've heard enough to get an idea. Oh, you did? Oh, pray, how didst thou hear us? Via a listening device most secret upon our chamber? Mares tapped the side of the wall, the part of it that was still standing anyway, and smiled ironically. Bad soundproofing. I could hear pretty much everything, Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. Verily, I see. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once. Well, I guess that's good enough self-introductions. So, care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring justice to the evils of the city? Indubitably! This shall do. I shall regale thee with the tale in which the legendary fixer, the Arknights herself, the Red Mist, hath... Oh, I suppose that killed any hope for a good night's kip. But, don't you usually pass out within a minute of your back hitting the hay, no matter how noisy things are? What? Oh, you take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over. A bear in hibernation is a pretty apt descriptor. For all that grumbling and moaning, dozed off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners were fast asleep as well. Rousseau had entered sleep in his usual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners, who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land, slowly began to fall asleep as well. I like Heathcliff. He's probably my third favorite sinner, behind Otis and Don Quixote. Meanwhile, the fixer of the Zwei Association's first section. Though the knight was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures, without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this till sunrise, is she? Oh, I guess it's okay, since Mares seems to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amir, not yet asleep, approached me. This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Did you actually experience all of them yourselves? No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people. But she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, thinking back to the plays we were made to watch back in La Mancha Land. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, just go to show what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixes of justice to begin with if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it. Haha, that's true. I hope there'll come a day when Rhodes Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future. Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mares and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mares excitedly reacting to Don Quixote's tales. Whoa! What happened then? Thus spake Lady Otis, boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. I, Otis, shall educate ye on how manner maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the tales of Limbus Company's adventures in Hongwan, and Otis, who could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alterations of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it! What kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that." Verily, certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. That's Tales of Adventures for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is told too realistically and as is, right? You know, nothing. Not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. So, I've always had a craving with these kinds of stories. The profound silence is definitely an ominous name. But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge to cross the border, especially since we're going to have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition. You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that? Because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled. Sorry, but what kind of organization is this, Inquisition? Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon hearing the word Inquisition, and that people fled from it. Yeah, no problem, Senpai. Hope you sleep well. I'll be wrapping up soon anyway. Yeah, the Nagalund hammer that we saw back in Cal aren't the kind of memories that are so easily forgotten. According to Dr. Kaltzip, the Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into chaos. That its inquisitors are the rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. That alone kinda makes them sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there's the Church of the Deep. Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborns. B, an organization that worships those monsters? It seems that cultish fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. I feel like people with all kinds of wrong faiths and beliefs are so common. Yeah, I didn't watch that stream, but I did see screenshots of it and people talking about it, and they mentioned that Kim Ji-hoon is well, they were joking that the money from this goes towards his Arknights addiction. See, the Seaborns are the ones that messed Iberia up. So, following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns? Those things from earlier, I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. For those who proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy. It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. But it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. Be able to say something like that with such composure. For Iberia, they are heroes who will bring the land back to its glory days. The Gramps, they were just oppressors making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's gaze. Yet, wherefore hast thou decided to set at a place that is so, run down? Indeed. Yeah, I know. But it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, I managed to find a new path thanks to you guys. A new path? Well, it's getting late. Will you be repairing the ship tomorrow, too? The place really has no soundproofing at all, huh? Good talk, everyone. Hope we'll get another chance to do this tomorrow, too. After seeing Mares to her own room, the other sinners, the ones who were still up anyway, and I laid ourselves on the hard stone floor with only a thin layer of cloth between it and our backs. A mysterious world that is neither the city nor the outskirts. But it seemed that the lives its people led were just as difficult as they were anywhere else. All right. So, I think with that, we'll be wrapping up for the night. It's a little bit early, but again, like the story sections of this are quite long, and like I'm still feeling a little bit sick, so probably best to try and keep my energy levels at a more reasonable level, right? Don't worry, we should be returning to this tomorrow, so look forward to it then. I expect we'll also be playing more on Saturday, and I know I had Super Robot Wars scheduled for Sunday, but like I get the feeling it's going to take us more time to get through this, so we're probably going to change Super Robot Wars to Limbus Company. So yeah, just expect that. Like I'm trying to sort of like rush through this so I can finish it before the event finishes. Now, we are going to go and raid somebody now, so let's go and see who is streaming what at the moment. Let's see who is streaming stuff. Okay. I think let's go and raid Serafina Noir, who is playing Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Not something I'm familiar with, admittedly. So let's pop on over there and go say hello, shall we? Thank you very much as always, and I hope to see you all next time. Okay? See ya.